Hey guys, welcome back to BeyondMilestones podcast. It's your host Daniela Owusu, and I'm so glad that you guys decided to join in for another new podcast episode. I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. So, today we're going to be talking about our souls. Last week I talked about our minds and bodies, and then the week before that was acceptance. And all of these episodes are in a series that I'm calling Becoming Your Best Investment. So, this is week 3, and next week I'll be wrapping it up and talking about giving ourselves grace and just being kind to ourselves. So, I hope that you guys have been enjoying this series so far. I've truly been enjoying hearing your guys' responses to it and just hearing about what you guys are getting from it. So thank you so much for sharing this with me if you have. And I'd love to hear your opinions if you guys haven't shared them with me. With that, go ahead and follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I really want to continue to grow and build this podcast community. And so if you want to join in on that, go ahead and follow the pod on those platforms. But yes, so with that, I want to get into today's episode. So I really want this episode to be short and to the point. So I'm literally cutting straight to the point and it's going to be so good. So I wanted to talk about our souls. This is going to be a faith-based episode today. And my first point I kind of wanted to bring up was why are our souls so important? And I gathered that our souls are honestly who we are. They are the essence of who we are, and they are the only part of us that will last forever. Everything else will at some point fade away. Like when we get older, our muscles may not move as well. We may have decreased mobility and all this stuff. But the only thing that really does not fade is our soul. Our souls are eternal. And so taking care of our souls, nourishing our souls, I think is the most important act of self-care that any of us can do. So I want to kind of read this verse, 2 Corinthians 4:16. It says, "Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day." And I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful verse and really just embodies this idea of our souls stay forever, but our bodies may, wither away and things may hit us at different spots in life and things may be going really bad outwardly, but inwardly, when we trust in God, when we are nourishing our souls every day, we are being renewed every single day. And so that's what I really just want you guys to keep with you as we go through this episode. I think that a part of becoming your best investment is surrender. I talked about how we need to let go of our past in the acceptance episode. I talked about how we need to start looking inwardly and taking care of our minds and bodies in the mind and body episode. But I think that when you truly surrender, you are not just letting go and saying goodbye to like the things and the people that you were holding you back, but you are also stepping into faith. You are taking that step forward and you're not alone in that step. With every step that you take forward after surrendering, you are getting to rest in confidence knowing that Jesus is with you, or rest in and have peace in knowing that no matter what happens, you're taken care of. When we decide like today's the day where I'm going to stop coping the way I've been coping. Today's the day where I'm going to take a chance on myself. The biggest chance that you could take on yourself is surrendering all the things that you can't do, all your problems, all the things that you're trying to take control of, surrendering those, letting God have that, letting God have all those things, and trusting that He is taking care of you, trusting that He has your best interest of at heart, trusting that He has your life laid out and planned out. He literally knows your next step and He is watching you and taking care of you, and He's never going to fail you. So, with surrender, we get to trust in God. And with every step forward after surrender, we get to rest in confidence and complete peace, knowing that God is taking care of us. Isaiah 40:29-31 says that He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. An idea that's been ringing in my head recently is that in my weakness, He is strong. And It's been literally in every single verse that I just randomly decide to read, it'll all correlate back to that idea, or sermons that I've been listening to will correlate back to that. Random Bible studies will correlate back to that. And it's just like, okay, like I feel like God's trying to tell me something. And it's literally in my weakness, He is strong. So, in this whole idea of me wanting to grow and become my best self, I have limitations. I am not perfect. I have my limitations and I have my weaknesses, and I am not always going to hit every goal that I set out for myself. But I'm reminded that in my weakness, God is made strong. So when I'm going through my day and I'm just like, why does my mind keep going to these negative thoughts? Like, why do I feel so anxious? All that stuff. I can be reminded that I can run to Jesus and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now. In my weakness, I know that you are strong. And so, God, please give me the strength to get through the rest of this day. And that's what I've been doing recently. And it's really been helping me in changing kind of the way that I go through my day, because not every day is going to be amazing. And even though I wish that every day was going to be like perfect and everything that I wanted to happen would happen, that's not reality. But that doesn't mean that God is not at work. Like, He's at work in every single day. Every single day that we are blessed with breath in our lungs is a day that He gets to move and be at work. And so if you're struggling with becoming my best investment, why am I not like hitting these goals? Why am I not hitting these markers? Just know that in your weakness, He is made strong. And that's a perfect segue into the perspective shift that a lot of people receive when they start to nourish their souls, when they start to feed their souls. I think it's beautiful about being able to put our trust in someone other than ourselves, is that there's a huge perspective shift that happens in our minds. We are able to move from meditating on the mess of like everything that's happening to meditating on how good God is, all the good things that are happening, how He is at work. We're able to move from worst case scenario to what's the worst that could happen if I put my trust in God, who literally has His entire hands over the world. We are able to move from dreading the day to come to be excited about what God is going to do. And granted, I am not someone that wakes up and I'm like, yes, like what's God going to do today? Woohoo. Like, no. I wake up, especially on Mondays, and I'm just like, no, like, why are we doing this again? Like, this is not fun. But then I'm reminded that, whoa, I'm a child of God. Like, I know that God's about to move in so many different ways, and I can ask Him, like, God, show me the joy today. Help me to be sensitive to the little things that are beautiful today. Like, I get to ask Him to literally present these things in front of me. And I think that's such a blessing and such a beautiful, beautiful part of being a Christian, is once again that perspective shift. Like, no, not all of us are perfect, not all of us we're going to have amazing days, and not all of us immediately go to that perspective shift, but we are able to have that perspective shift because of Jesus. And a lot of the people that I know that are Christian and in college are some of the most positive people that I know, because they're just like, whatever happens, like, I know God is in control. I know that God is going to do this for me. People just constantly are like, it's okay, like whatever happens, God's got me. And I think that's such a beautiful way to live, in that you don't have to worry about what's coming next, because what's meant for you will be for you. And I think that knowing and trusting that God is for you really helps you to take a chance on yourself and become your best investment, because you know that whatever steps you take toward growth, He is going to do something with it. He's going to work with it. Matthew 11:28-30 says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I love that verse because, like I said, this whole idea of in my weakness, God is made strong has been ringing. And I feel like this verse really connects that together. And it's just, Jesus is literally asking us to lay down, to surrender, to lay down all the things that are going wrong in our lives, to give that all to Him. And He's like, and in place of that, I will give you my peace, I will give you my joy. And I think that is so beautiful, because we have the opportunity to live lives that are full of peace, that are full of joy, but it's up to us. It's our choice and it's our decision. I think that taking care of our souls intertwined with becoming our best investment is that, like I said in a couple of other episodes, like the mind and body episode, we can do so much to our outward being. We can buy new perfumes and make a new scent for ourselves. We can change our hair. We can work out a ton and change the way our body looks. Like, we can do so much for the outward part of us, but none of that is going to change what's going on inside. When you see someone that is full of faith, with someone that is just so confident in themselves and so secure in who they are, they radiate joy, they radiate positivity. Like, they just look different from someone who is second guessing their every move, from someone who just doesn't know what's going on. And so I really think that once we start working on our inner being, working on what's going on inside of us, trusting in God, having faith, working on our souls, our lives truly do change. I love the idea of the fact that there's a God shaped size hole in every single one of our hearts. And the only thing that can fill that is Jesus. There are so many things that we will try to use to cope, to deal with the hard things that come with life, because the reality is, like, you're never going to go through a season of life where absolutely nothing is wrong. Something is going to be weird, something's maybe not going to be your favorite in at least every season of life. But as a believer, you get to focus on Jesus and not focus on that thing. And I'm literally speaking to myself when I say this, because I feel like I get into the mindset of, every semester something's gonna happen, like, something's gonna happen, and it does, and I'm like, oh, like, this is so, like, sucky and bad. But I'm reminded that through these things, like, God is working, and he's, like, showing me different things through these various events that just happen in my life. And so I don't need to worry, and I don't need to fear, and I don't need to be stressed. And so I just wanted to hone in the point that our souls are so important. There needs to be inner work done in order to truly know and understand that you are worth the investment, that you are worth taking care of, that you are worth fighting for. I think that once you start spending time with God, once you start spending time with yourself, once you start understanding who you are and what you're here for, you're able to realize, yeah, I'm here for a purpose. That's why I'm worth fighting for. That's why I need to do my night routine, because I know that I'm going to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and I can start working and chipping away at my purpose. The whole reason for this entire series, Becoming Your Best Investment, was to remind us all that we are worth it, and to give us ideas on how we can start to understand that we are worth it, and understand that we deserve better and we deserve more, and we deserve all these beautiful things going into our lives. I think that's something so beautiful about life for most of us, is that the ball is in our court. We get to decide, we get to choose how we do things and how much of what we do and all that stuff. And so I hope that you will choose to feed your soul today, whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like to you. Again, like, we could change everything about the way that we look on the outside, but nothing really happens unless we start to work on what's going on inside of us. And so I really hope that this episode maybe inspired you to start pouring into your soul, start taking time for yourself, start spending more time with God, start working on what makes you you from the inside, and then work your way to the outside. If you've made it to the end of this podcast episode and you are not a believer, or maybe you do believe in God, but you don't take your faith too seriously, like, wherever you're at, if you're still listening to this, thank you. And I literally want to personally invite you to church this Sunday. This Sunday is Easter Sunday. And if you're nervous to go to church, like, if you've been thinking about it and you're just nervous, this is literally your sign to go, because Easter is, like, the best day to go to church. Literally anyone that you know that's a believer will take you. You're not going to be the only one that will be there that's new, most likely, because it's Easter. And it's just a beautiful day because we get to be reminded of the death and resurrection of Jesus. And so literally ask anyone that you know that's a believer. They will be so excited that you asked, and they would want to take you. If you know me and you want to go, I will take you. I am honestly just like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, you could walk into that room and walk out and nothing changed, which I don't believe that. But you could also walk into that room and walk out of that room and your life be changed forever and for the better. But you will never know until you take that chance. And so, in light of becoming your best investment, take a chance on yourself, take a chance on faith, take a chance on hope. And I know this episode was so short, but I wanted to get to the point. I truly believe that in order to think and believe that you are worth investing in the first place is to learn who you are and understand who you are. And investing time and energy into yourself and into your passions is 100% an act of self love. And so I hope that you all are inspired by this to take care of yourselves, to maybe go to church, to take your faith seriously, to invest in yourself because you deserve it. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to follow the podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Bye, guys.